Pickaxe.
All right, you can stop sending us the Blobby clip. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen the Blobby clip.
He's back. It's all very exciting.
He's well and truly back. What do you make of it, Michael?
Well, I'm confused because I thought Noel Edmonds was the man inside the suit, and yet Noel and Blobby are stood side by side. My whole world is turned upside down. What's going on? It's nice to see him rear his face again on TV. It feels like the nation needs an amorphous blob to crumble and knock stuff over a TV studio.
Noel looks like. Oh, sorry, go on, Mike.
I was saying it's good to have him back.
Yeah, it is. It is good to have him back. Noel I have to imagine that Noel knew that was going to happen. Yeah. But also, he actually looks like a bit sort of pissed off. Like he's come there to talk about whatever it is. He's suing that company again, or I don't know why he was on, but he's come there to talk and do an interview. And then they jump in with Mr. Blobby at the end, and he just looks. He sort of grits his teeth and smiles and goes, "Yeah, I had a feeling this might happen."
No matter what he does,
he's desperately trying to put it behind him, isn't he?
Yeah, he can't though. Like you can't get Noel Edmonds on the telly without getting Mr. Blobby on, otherwise no one will watch. So sadly, when did Mr. Blobby start? Like 40 years ago? Like, imagine your entire life being followed by not only a joke, but a physical manifestation of a joke. it's
weird that he's that old, but he's still. I'm talking about Blobby now, not Noel Edmonds.
Right, yeah.
But still seems to be relevant enough that I think still probably an amount of young people would at least know his name. I guess he sticks out so much. It's not just like some celebrity whose face you might recognize. But I did you hear that Justin Timberlake got done for drink driving?
Yes.
Well, I saw a thing yesterday or today actually that said a source on the inside said that the policeman who arrested him was so young that he didn't know who he was. And apparently Justin said under his breath something like, "Oh, this is really going to ruin it." And the policeman said, "What?" And he said, "The world tour I'm doing right now."
Oh no.
And if Justin Timberlake isn't being recognized by someone who's old enough to be a policeman and pull him over, but Mr. Blobby is perhaps still a recognizable character in the UK.
I think it helps he's visually distinct. If you put like 100 people in a room and ask me to pick out Justin Timberlake, I might struggle. But Mr. Blobby, the big one over there.
Yeah, I think you'll see him. Yeah.
Also, we've seen what old Blobby suits look like. They're actively decaying. So this means that someone out there is making new Blobby suits relatively regularly.
Well, he was also, I think it might have been on the same day, he was on BBC News as well. So I think someone with that suit was in Media City or whatever, or down in London, and they did they did the rounds, I think, as Mr. Blobby for a day. I think he had it was like a press junket for Mr. Blobby. Because he definitely did at least 2 appearances this week on separate channels.
What have you sent us there, Mike? Oh, my Lord.
I was curious if there's any Blobby suits going around on eBay again.
Oh, no.
That is horrible.
It's a very expensive custom-made suit, and you can tell it's got...
you can tell. That was knitted by Nana's quite clearly. That's horrible.
It's the last thing Nana knitted before she completely lost the ability to do so.
That is a bear inside of a Blobby costume.
It looks like an Oodie with gloves and trousers is what it looks like. That's awful. That'll go on the thread, and it's on the video version now.
I thought it's got teeth. £1,000. It just looks like the price.
£1,000. $899 though with a coupon, or
bargain.
£47 a month for 24 months with PayPal credit.
Oh, I scrolled down and it's all sexy fairy costumes. Is this what else they do? Oh no!
Hang on, is he standing on a roof?
I think he is.
He's standing on a flat roof, I think.
He's going to go through that. Classic Blobby. He's going to go right through that.
He is, yeah. It'll just be his legs sticking out, and Noel Edmonds will be in the lounge trying to watch the telly, going, I had a feeling this might
Blobby. I thought Noel managed to play it off pretty well, though, when he was being quite aggressively accosted by Mr. Blobby. And he was like, I'm not going to give you a radio station. I told you it would be boring. Just sort of having a Han Solo Chewbacca-esque conversation with Blobby on the fly.
Yeah.
And then Ed Balls just got absolutely murdered by Noel Edmonds.
I know. What was that about?
For no reason at all.
For context, for those who haven't seen the clip, Mr. Blobby, who I'm not going to explain the context of that, you should know. And if you don't, do your Vidiots homework.
Yeah, come on.
But he runs into an interview that Noel Edmonds is doing with Ed Balls and someone else on daytime TV. And in amongst all the commotion, Noel Edmonds, out of nowhere, says to everyone, says to the room, "Oh, the one good thing about this, though, is that Mr. Blobby makes Ed look slim." And Ed's like, "Hang on a minute, what?"
Ed just goes, He doesn't even. I thought he sort of like vocalizes a reaction, then just slumps back, like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
it was quite the encounter.
It really was. Yeah,
quite the encounter.
Gosh.
I love that Ed Balls was put in his place in a situation with Mr. Blobby. Ed Balls being the man who's mostly known for just tweeting his own name.
Yes, ex-politician. Ed Balls. That was the tweet. Really good.
Yeah.
Classic.
Really good.
Oh, speaking of Twitter, actually, an old favourite's made a comeback. Well, maybe not a favourite, but a character.
Oh, yeah.
Lorraine from the London area. I think
God.
they were banned on Twitter for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Now they're back, and it's the same drivel as always. It's not. It's amazing that this joke has gone on so long. Please, Lorraine, get some help.
Is she still buying Vauxhall courses or whatever it was?
No, it's gotten a lot less fun since the days of trying to sell hamsters and car boot sales and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Go back, Lorraine. Go back to what made you happy. The good old days. Yeah.
I didn't like her tweet either, because you sent us a link or a screenshot, Mikey, and it had that sort of the devil emojis, like guess who's back, but it was like that has a sexual connotation, that devil thing.
Well, she's been offline for so long that she's forgotten what all the emojis mean, I think.
I think whoever's running the troll account knows what that means.
Yeah, they
knows exactly what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Yeah.
God damn it. Well, shall we get Kevin to press play on the music? He's been slacking on that Instagram recently. I understand he's taken a little holiday and hasn't been around.
What is this? 2019? We've got Kevin, we've got Lorraine, we've got Mr. Blobby. Everyone's coming back.
I know for a fact that he's around and ready to do the music tonight, though. So if we say his name, he may appear.
Okay.
Kevin. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podiots, the official Vidiots podcast. It's a conversational podcast where we take some questions from you at home and obey the law of the three Us, where everybody brings
a thing along to talk about.
I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Michael.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are we doing on this fine evening?
Hey, it is actually a fine evening.
It
Weather
is.
report. It's been shit for 2 weeks, and tonight, I don't know about where you are, Mikey, but it's suddenly the sun came out, and it was actually warm if the sunlight was on your face.
Yeah, it's glorious. Now to cover the sun once again with my blinds. I don't need to see the sun for now because we're doing computer business.
Yeah, it messes with my green screen. I put Pippa on her lead and let her around in the back garden earlier. She had a little frolic. Not for long, though. Don't want her to get, too used to freedom or nice things. And then
or the sun.
Exactly. Locked back up in the house now, which is good. We do have some exciting developments for later in the year.
Yes.
In terms of a certain Mr. Johnson making his way to the north.
Ooh,
yeah. I'm doing a tour of the UK. There's one stop, Newcastle, and then that's it. So, yeah, we're going to be doing some fun Vidiots content. Most likely podioting, maybe others. Who knows? We haven't planned ahead much, but we've got dates, so it's happening.
We have dates.
How are you coming up? Are you going on the train, or...
Going to get me pedal bike. I'm going to do mad stunts all the way up the tube.
A wheelie all the way here.
Because you could make it a 2-stop tour and go via Stoke-on-Trent if you really wanted to.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It
is a vibrant place.
I forget, as an adult, I can just go places if I want to, and Stoke-on-Trent is one of the places that I can just go to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we'll make a tour out of it. We'll see all the sights. We'll do a Vidiots trail.
I have that thought, I could go one day to Stoke-on-Trent just for the memes and post about it. And I've never done it. I've talked about it for like 4 years now, saying I should go one day, it'd be really funny. And then, no, I haven't. And it's not even that far from where my parents live, so it would be pretty easy to do. But
can I just say, as someone who did go to Stoke-on-Trent for a laugh, you don't need to do that.
No.
You're not going to have a great time.
No.
It's a funny idea, though, but in practice, you are in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like 2 hours into the journey, you're getting there, you're like, oh, this is my weekend.
Going to Stoke.
Yeah.
But yes, Mikey is booked in later in the year to come up north. We're hoping that it coincides roughly with episode 150. It may, much like episode 100, arrive slightly after we need it to, which means that we may skip to episode 151 and then come back to it like we did before, but we'll explain that close to the time. Either way, it'll be nice to record in the same room. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, very good.
See our fleshy faces once again.
Oh, fleshy. Lovely. Podiots.com. That's where you need to go if you want to support what we're doing here at Podiots, and by extension, very occasionally on Vidiots. If you go there, donate £3 or more, you'll get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of the podcast, and join Pod Squad. This week, we have a lovely selection of people, and Mikey's going to kick us off with the first batch now.
The River Severn is the longest river in Great Britain.
Britain, yeah.
Britain.
Cat Dealey wearing Heelys. Bibble on my rumpy dumple. What is going on? Help. John Craven's Poos Brown. Donak 07. The River Severn. Summer D's nuts. Summer D's nuts. Summer D's nuts. However you want to. Frogley. Gary Gorilla, Blossoms Band music video, or MV. I think a band made a song about Gary the Gorilla. I haven't actually listened to it yet, so I can't give a review or any insight.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
next time
go and hook up Blossoms and listen to a lovely Gorilla theme song. We continue with Lord Mystery Buffet Mitovich and Stephen Skodes.
Lovely. We've also got Caroline, can you check my mole? I think we've actually had that one before. We're running out of Carolines.
He's still asking.
Yeah, he is. He's really worried. Has
it
it changed? Fred Frog's Choco Knob. Caroline, it's Barry. I'm rewatching Vidiots. My last £3, I'm hungry now. Tanker Wanker. Friendship is magic. Ben's cat in bio. Why nobody swing with Ben. Crispy Peking Cuck, Coniots presents Connie Huck, and Sue Veneer.
Very nice. Finally, we have Duchess of Limbs, Kerr Matt Bussy the Pog, I believe in Joe Hendry's nuts. Congratulations to a friend of ours, Joe Hendry, by the way, for debuting in WWE the other day.
Incredible.
Very exciting to see. Mr. Macker, Small Monkey John Denmark. What? The very generous Anonymous who said, I've finally done it. I submitted 4 names last week and got a favourite choice from each one of you.
Wow.
Chegma, Ben Pottery Shopping Centre and DBP's Nuts. What a lifetime achievement. Much love, Keese from Will. Thank you.
I like how it was an anonymous donation and then it says from Will at the end.
Incredible. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will. Well done. Well done.
Well done.
Your commemorative
we also
plate
have Croupier. Sorry, Mikey.
I was going to say, your commemorative plate is in the post.
It is. Yeah. We do those. We also have Croupier, Lord Bear's Croupier, Gay Mer Ant. That's spelled gay, and then the what is it? An oil?
The
an
biblical.
Incense?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, yeah.
And then ant, as in the animal. And finally, we have Pet Shop Man. And that is your Pod Squad for this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for being so unbelievably generous. Podiots.com, £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of the podcast. Help us to keep doing what we're doing here. Thank you so much. Do you guys have a favourite?
I have just realised why Duchess of Limbs is funny, so that's now that I like that one.
Oh, explain for the rest of the class, please.
That is from the weird archaic insults that I did 2 episodes ago, where if you're a bit clumsy, you're a Duke of Limbs.
Okay.
So I think it was Duke of Limbs or a Count of Limbs or something. Yeah.
I like Small Monkey John Denmark, a very tenuous one, but it's nice to see Mr. Good. John Deere making his face known again.
Yeah, that's good.
I like Bibble on my Rumpy Dumple because it's very fun to say.
It is, yeah.
It's nice. So you're going for Duchess of Limbs, Peter?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll go for that.
You don't have to.
No, I know, but that's the one. It's the one I was thinking of when you asked me, because I was reading it and thinking, oh, yeah. So
excellent stuff. Well, there we are. Thank you very much, Pod Squad. It's now time for things to happen. I'm the Thing King this time around, and I decree that Peter Austin will go first with his listener-submitted thing.
Okay. I've got a listener-submitted thing here that was sent in by Cuz at HeIsTheCuz on Twitter. It is according to metroar.co.uk, and they say, Jen Mills, by the way, is the person who wrote this article, and they say, woman reads her asparagus to tell us how England will do in the Euros.
Right. Excellent.
Okay. In the 2010s, if people wanted to predict the outcome of a national football match, they turned to octopuses. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was he called? I want to say it's Gary again.
I can't remember. Yeah, it might have been Gary the Octopus, possibly. Famous tentacled prophets. Here we go. It's going to tell you. Famous tentacled prophets included Paul and Rabio or Rabiot, who gave their findings by choosing the winning country's flag. They even had a good track record, at least until Rabio was reportedly boiled alive and sold for food at a fish market.
No.
I didn't know that. It's hyperlinked as well.
Oh, no.
Psychic octopus who
here.
yeah, possibly. Psychic octopus who correctly predicted the World Cup results sold for food before tournament ends. Oh no.
Wow.
Anyway, it continues. But now it's 2024, and it's all about asparagus. And then it interestingly notes, both octopus and asparagus end in us. So perhaps that's what bestows the mystical powers.
The ussy.
Yeah.
Could be the ussiness of it, yeah. Fortune teller Jemima Packington, 67, uses the green spears to reveal the future. And the good news is, England will win the Euro 2024 tournament.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bringing an end to 58 years of hurt, Gareth Southgate's men will go all the way in Germany and lift the trophy for victory. Full stop. According to the asparagus. Full stop. Don't scoff too soon, because they've been right on the big things before. Ooh.
Oh, go on.
I'll tell you. Jemima earned her celebrity status as the world's only asparamancer after correctly indicating the result of the Brexit referendum, i.e. a 50-50 choice, as well as predicting the Queen's death and Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family.
How does asparagus predict this? Excuse me, what?
Well, I'll tell you I'll tell you the method shortly. It does.
It's
come
just
later
going to be
in the article.
a yes or no, isn't it?
Well,
you can't say what's going to happen with the royal family. Well, the asparagus clearly says
you can actually
complicate it. Can you?
Yeah, and I'll tell you how.
Okay.
But she even claims to have seen Nigel Farage becoming head of Reform and campaigning in the general election after the Spears revealed a former leader would return to active politics. Bit vague, bit broad. To get the answers, Jemima of Bath, Somerset, Michael Johnson, tosses the asparagus into the air and interprets how they land on the ground. Similar to telling tea leaves or casting stones to see how they land, asparamancy is not a common form of fortune telling, though it could be another sustainable and seasonal use of the popular local vegetable. Jemima said, they keep pointing to 3 words in particular. It's coming home.
Oh, God.
England fans... and here's the obligatory typo in this article, by the way.
Yeah.
England fans, every right to be positive and optimistic if the Spears are anything to go by. So there you go.
Good.
I can also see Harry Kane being very strong, she says. He is going to be worth watching and is going to come into his own this tournament. England are going to do...
Did she say that, or did the Spears say that? Come on. You can't
she's just a vessel for the Spears.
Yeah, of course.
England are going to do very well, and I think we will see us winning it. Watch this space. As for Scotland, no comment. Mystic Veg Jemima says her predictions tend to have a success rate of between 75 to 90%, and she is never usually far off. She also said that events in the Middle East would reach breaking point, and that a public figure would be outed as having profited from illegal actions, a possible nod to Donald Trump, who became the first US president to be convicted of a felony. Jemima began fortune-telling as a child after learning the craft from her aunt, who used to read tea leaves. Seeing the patterns for me is instantaneous. Possibly that is because I've had years of practice, she said. Occasionally, I get one slightly off where I haven't quite read it correctly, but I'm never far off. And the biggest question... But Peter, what kind of asparagus does she use?
But Peter, what kind of asparagus does she use?
I'm so glad you asked, Ben. Jemima uses fresh Worcestershire asparagus grown in the Vale of Evesham, the UK's main supplier of the vegetable.
Good. So, the extra clairvoyant, that one.
Yeah.
It's the enchanted woods where it comes from.
That's the end of the article. There are there's some trending articles linked at the bottom. The top two of them are slight variations on the same story. New Nostradamus predicts exact date World War III will start. I clicked on that earlier when I was reading this article, and he predicted it would have started yesterday at time of recording. So don't think that's... He needs to change to asparagus, I think. Whatever he's using isn't working.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got that bad asparagus from another place.
Yeah, maybe. Could be that. He needs to use the Worcestershire kind. Worcester.
Yes.
Worcestershire.
Exactly.
So that's it. Asparagus says we're going to win. It's coming home. Place your bets.
Fantastic. Put all the money on red and white, everyone.
Yeah.
Because not the Georgia. Asparagus says it's going to be true. I briefly Googled asparamancy because, I wondered how do you read asparagus? Do you want to see an example of what she's reading? Maybe we can see what you both infer from the asparagus.
We got a photo of a cast. Let's see.
Okay. See what this says to you.
Oh, God. Are we supposed to be finding a word or an image?
The asparagus, you just let the asparagus flow through you.
Okay.
I don't think there's any guides. Oh.
What?
Okay, sorry, there is actually some insight I found to go along with this image. So there is a right and wrong answer here.
I see an X and an F. I'm going to say that tells us that X Factor is returning to our screens.
Oh, I like it. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay, maybe you can read asparagus, but obviously you read what you want into it. Well,
yeah, I've disregarded about 9 stalks of asparagus in doing that. But
hey, not all the asparagus is important. The asparamancer observed the letters K, H, and A interlinked in the patterns, which she claims may suggest a party or celebration of some kind. I've got no idea how K, H, and A make party, but
I also can't see those letters, I don't think.
But you know what? She's been right 75 to 90% of the time, so maybe we're being a bit too harsh on her. Trust the asparagus.
Maybe. Possibly. We could be being too harsh on her, or we're being the correct amount of harsh.
Yeah.
The appropriate amount of doubtful.
Hey, when X Factor gets a surprise return next year, you guys are going to be laughing on the other side of your faces.
I bloody well will. And I tell you what, if I go to the supermarket and I drop asparagus all over the floor, then that'll teach me as well, won't it?
Yeah, it will. People will be running around reading it, going, "Oh, what could it be?
X Factor, no." Well, thank you very much, Peter.
No problem. Thank you to...
It's coming home.
It's coming home. Thank you to Cuz, was it? Cuz on Twitter for sending that to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Cuz. Michael Johnson, what's your thing, please?
Hello, gentlemen. I bring a return of an old feature that we haven't had in quite a while, I think maybe over a year.
Oh.
I hope you've brought your boxing gloves because it's time for a punch-up.
Come on.
It's a fight.
Ding, ding, ding.
This time, I did search through the archives here about 3 times to make sure, and I am relatively confident I haven't done this particular category before, but if you have, shout, and I guess we'll just forget this ever happened.
Okay.
There's a good chance both of us will have forgotten anyway.
Probably, yes. I mean, it all felt new to me as I was writing it out, so I'm going to assume it'll be new for you. So this punch-up is of the mix-up variety, sweets.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we have done sweets, actually.
I think we've done a few varieties of food, but I had a real big craving the other night for a classic old-school corner shop, 50p, like pick and mix bag, pre-made. Go in after school, hand the 50p over, get a big, lovely bag of gummies or whatever delights were in store that day.
I've always got a 50p on me.
Oh, just in case.
Yeah.
The stinky. Oh, don't use that for the sweets, Peter. That's
maybe not.
Stinky one. So I had a think. I had to trawl through pictures and archives of the kind of sweets you would get in a 50p mix, and I've ranked. I've put 16 of them here to be battled to the death to find the sweet that you'd be most excited to find in your little mystery bag of sweeties. Okay. Before we begin, were you both sweetie boys or mix-up men? Were you fans?
I'm quite a sweetie boy. Because I don't really like chocolate, like dark or brown milk chocolate. I like my white chocolate, but so normally I would resort to sweeties.
I am very much the inverse. I much prefer chocolate. I don't like sweeties as an adult. I probably enjoyed them as a child because they were just sugar. Yeah. But certainly as I have matured, I do not enjoy sweets. And I know chocolate is very much the same, but all I think of when I have a sweet is that was just a cube of sugar. I just ate a cube of sugar.
Yeah, I don't really have them anymore. That is the difference. And if I did, I know that if I did have sweets, on the odd occasion that I've been to someone's house and there's been Haribos or whatever, I do really enjoy them still. But there's a psychological aspect where I'm like, this isn't good for me. I shouldn't be eating this at age 32. So I do still like them though, but I don't have them day to day.
Yeah. So luckily we won't be rotting any teeth today because while there is 16 here, you only have to choose and eat one sweet. So it's just a little treat at the end of the day. All right, we begin with the first pairing. I'm going to explain some of these sweets because I realize not everyone's familiar with all these sweets. Maybe some of them are UK specific, maybe not. There's a few I've missed out. The one big omission that I didn't want to put in was, do you remember the kind of like gummy pints, like beer pint sweets?
Ooh, not really.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Maybe I've seen one, but
we used to like they'd occasionally pop up in mix-ups I had when I was a kid, and it was gross. Like it tasted like stale boot rather than beer. I don't know what beer is supposed to taste like in a sweet, but
I'm looking at them now. They don't look very nice.
Yeah, they're very sad, not good. Kind of interesting texture, but flavor-wise, not good. Anyway, for the real contenders, our first battle is between... There you go, beer... Oh, God, they do just look...
Oh, I've never seen those before. They look horrible.
Kind of got a glossy coating on them.
They look savoury.
Yeah.
Right, well, the first punch-up is between the humble, the mighty, the classic, the fried egg, the Haribo variety, not a chickeny egg, and a pencil, those kind of straw things with, like, fondant or something in the middle with an outer casing of jelly. You know, what is your preference of the two? You two weigh in, but if there's a tie, I will weigh in to give my verdict on things.
I mean, I like a fried egg if they're in the bag, but actually, you've started with one of my favourite sweets of all time, which is the pencil. I really like those, or cables they're sometimes called if you get really long ones. I really like them, and that might be the kind of thing where if I was at like a food market and we went past a sweetie stall, if they had a big tray of those, I might treat myself to one of those. It's about the only sweet I would still buy for myself today as a little rare treat. So for me, it's a clear winner, but
I guess Ben, you're the I guess the non-sweeter, the critic. So you get to be cruel on the sweets and be really brutal. Do you agree?
I feel sort of indifferent about both. I wouldn't be mad at either of them being a part of my pick and mix selection, and I would eat them both and enjoy them both. But certainly, if I had both of them in front of me, I'd probably go for the fried egg. But I'm willing to concede the pencil.
Yeah, I think I would concede pencil as well because they kind of feel like more of a treat. Fried egg's normal. Pencil's like this is a little bit different.
It's a premium one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That is a difference between them. Fried eggs are a classic, but they are,
it's like beans. You get them everywhere.
A staple, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. You move on. Next up, I've bumped two sweets together into one here because they're kind of the same, and I don't like either of them, so I thought I'd just bump them together. The foam banana / foam shrimp.
Yeah.
In against the giant cola bottle. Specific, not just a regular little one, the giant one.
The giant cola bottle.
Because I feel like there's a difference between the giant and the small ones. The smaller ones,
they're just chunkier, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of like bigger, flatter, longer, better.
I love that Daft Punk song. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I personally feel that the foam bananas and foam shrimps are, by a sizable distance, one of the weaker pick and mix sweets. And I really like cola bottles of any variety. Again, I probably wouldn't necessarily pick out a giant one because that feels like a lot of work. But I do like regular cola bottles, so I'm putting my weight behind cola bottle here.
I agree that I'd prefer a smaller one, but yeah, I think the foam ones they're like a really interesting oddity. Like everyone, when you talk about pick and mix, everyone goes, "Oh, what about the weird foam shrimp and the bananas?" They're like a talking point, but they're actually just really rubbish. They're just a bit weird and interesting, but actually kind of horrible. Yeah, so I'd go cola bottle.
Yeah, I'd agree. Cola bottle. The foam ones are just kind of like whenever you eat them, it's not because it'll be nice. It's like either to get it eaten or just for the experience. And 30 seconds later, you're reminded why you don't like them. Well done, cola bottle. Two, now these are some old school ones that aren't big hitters, at least to my books. Love Hearts, those little chalky, horrible things, and Dolly Mixture. Dolly Mixture is a variety of sweets. God, how do you describe Dolly Mixture? What is licorice?
They're a bit fondanty as well, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them are quite hard. They're not very soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a two stripy one, like one's it's like white on the bottom and then a color on the top. They're like tiny little cubes, or there's like cylinder ones.
Yeah, it's a proper old one. Like
I used to really like them as a kid. I would actually sort of choose them, but I think as time went on, they sort of changed the recipe and probably removed all of the artificial stuff. And now I would not choose a Dolly Mixture. No. What was the first one again?
Love Hearts.
Love Hearts, yeah. See, you described them as, did you just say horrible chalky things? I don't mind a Love Heart.
They got nice affirmations on them.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't like the crumble
you look
to
fit.
dust.
Eat me.
Stunner.
Stunner.
Stunner. Yeah, I never got on with them. But I'm not gonna influence the decision here. Unless you need me to.
I'd pick them over Dolly Mixtures anyway.
I would too. I wouldn't personally consider them part of pick and mix though. I wouldn't have them in my pick and mix. It's too I want soft things in my pick and mix. I don't want hard work,
That's true. Well, it depends. Sometimes soft things can be the hardest work of all, but I'm gonna
said.
Well said.
Don't know what it means, but that was beautiful.
But you can, like the asparagus, you can read what you want from that. Love Hearts are through. Okay. Now, you said you don't like hard work. What do you think of, and I quote the name here, chocolate jazzies?
Oh, God, I'm going to have to Google those, aren't I?
I think I know what they are, actually. They're like coloured dotty ones.
Yeah, like little rounds of chocolate with kind of multicoloured
sprinkles. Hundreds and thousands on them, yeah. You can get a kilogram of them from Asda.
Ooh, all right. Add that to the basket. It's chocolate jazzies versus milk bottles, the little chewy, milky sweet.
Oh, well, see, milk bottles are my favourite, and I know that's a controversial one because people don't like those. And I know that chocolate jazzies are basically just slightly crunchy chocolate, but I fucking love milk bottles. There's something about the flavor of milk bottles which don't taste like milk that I really like. I like those.
I would want my jazzies or my chocolate button equivalent just without sprinkles on. To be honest, I'd quite happily just have the white chocolate buttons. So I'm not like a big jazzy guy. But actually, I hate milk bottles. I specifically have to take them out of a pack of Super Mix or Star Mix, whichever one it is. If I had ever, on the rare occasion, I've got some Haribo, I just won't eat them. But given that I'm not keen on either of these, I'm happy to just give milk bottles a pass if that's what you like, Ben.
Oh,
Unless,
you.
Mikey, maybe you're really against milk bottles too.
Oh no, I'm a firm lover of the milk bottle.
Fair enough.
Always one of my favorites. Just it's that
through.
flavor you can't quite describe. It's quite creamy, kind of fruity, but what is it? It's not milk.
No, it's not. Just a couple of Milky Boys. Love it.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I don't believe in chocolate in mix-ups. Put it that way. I think leave it out, especially with your multicolored sprinkles on it. Boo.
Yeah,
too much work.
Too much work. Right, well, halfway through the first brackets, then we're going to whiz through the true battles. Cola bottle small Ooh. Versus a bubblegum ball.
I don't think I've ever chosen a bubblegum ball in a pick and mix. I don't think I've ever picked it specifically.
No. I don't want to have a sweet that never ends.
No.
Because you know the flavor's going to be gone almost immediately.
Yeah, it's a sweet that never begins, really.
It's crap. It's and I like cola bottles too. Behind milk bottle, I just like the bottles. Just give me the bottles. I like cola bottles. So absolutely, cola bottles for me.
Cola bottles are great. Yeah.
Fair. If I ever got a mix up and there's a bubblegum ball in it, it's just something you chew on like blue tack, basically.
Yeah. You have to throw it away. It's rubbish.
You'd want to save it till the end as well, because otherwise, if you start chewing bubblegum while you're also eating other sweets, then it's like. I've got to chew this at the same time, and then it's like a chore.
When I was a kid, I discovered a genius way where I didn't have to get rid of my chewing gum, and that was chew chewing gum and then have a Haribo, and it sticks to the Haribo, and you can just swallow it. You can just swallow it. It's genius.
Oh my god!
You never have to get rid of the gum. You can just eat as much chewing gum as you want. And then have Haribo as well. And then you just swallow
stop being able to poo.
Just swallow it down. Fart a big bubble.
Yeah.
And otherwise you wouldn't swallow gum. It was just when it was eaten with another sweet that made it digestible.
Yeah. I remember specifically one car journey where I discovered this, and I don't think I ever did it again because I was aware that it was not okay. But I was like,
as a treat.
It's just gone down. Great. Let's keep it up.
And as we all know, it then took 12 years to digest.
Yeah.
It was slowly digested over 12 years.
Yes.
I used to be a religious bubblegum swallower as a kid. I reckon it's hundreds of bits of chewing gum I've swallowed over my childhood. I think I did all right. Who knows what's clogged up inside me?
Do they stack, or is it only one per 12 years? So you could still be working your way through them as we speak right now.
That's true. One day I'm due a big load, and I've got recycling for future needs.
God.
Oh God.
No.
Anyway, on to something more disgusting than pooing out sweets.
Yeah.
Flying saucers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Truly, I'm
weird, isn't it?
The saddest of all sweets. 2 bits of paper with some awful sad sugar encased in the middle of it, kind of shaped into a flying saucer.
Flavorless edible paper with sherbet in it. Whose idea was that?
As a boy who was raised Catholic, the textures of UFOs reminded me of communion wafers.
Yum.
Which I'm sure Jesus would be very cross to hear that there's an equivalent out there that has sherbet in it.
Tastier.
Didn't like them.
Feels like flying saucers were invented during the war, during rationing, and just kind of stuck around after that.
It's a weird one. How are they still about? Who wants them? You'll begrudgingly have them at the school disco because they're just there.
Yeah.
And they come in they'll sell a bag of mixed sweets for however many pence. But it's always the worst bit, and they're so big compared to the other sweets too. They take up a lot of the bag.
It's just there for bulking. Disgusting.
The one pleasure I got out of flying saucers was, you know how when you worked at the service station, Ben, you used to punch Easter eggs?
Yeah.
So that it would be wastage, and then you could eat them in the back room. Well, not even for wastage reasons, I would sometimes, if there was a pack of them in a supermarket, I would just sort of squeeze them and burst them like bubble wrap, and then sort of go and find my mum and carry on shopping.
You're a little vandal.
Yeah. Someone opened their packet one day and just had all these flat saucers.
Wow, you were angry against those saucers. Jeez.
Yeah.
What was the other one, sorry?
And the rainbow belt, the kind of fizzy rainbow multicolour one.
Kind of sour a bit?
Very sour, I think.
That one, yeah.
It's one of those ones that's encased in kind of sugary crystals.
Better than a UFO, although that doesn't take much beating. But still not a personal favourite of mine.
No, it's a bit much. But so far it's the first fizzy sour thing represented, which I do like generally as a genre. So yeah, I would pick that over a UFO.
Yeah, fair. I think in my older years I've become less tolerant of sour, extreme sourness.
Less
just
tolerable.
Too much. I think it's like
you strike me as a boy who used to eat toxic wastes a lot when you were younger, Mikey.
Oh, 100%.
By the bucket, yeah.
Of course he did.
Many a school trip, coach trips were spent shoving
burning
in my
your
mouth.
mouth. Yeah,
not being able to taste for a week afterwards. Childhood. Christ. One of my personal favourites, the fizzy bubblegum bottle. I was like these kind of like the pink and blue bottles.
Oh, the blue and pink ones, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that flavour. And that against, different to a chocolate jazzy, but still chocolate and fun, the chocolate mouse. A classic white chocolate, or I guess you get dark chocolate as well, but yeah, chocolate mice. Good. Actually, one of the few times I wasn't upset to get chocolate in my picking mix, because it was quite a sizable chunk. It was like a proper chunk of chocolate.
Yeah. Those are, although I do like my pencils, those probably are my number one pick and mix sweet, personally. I do love a white chocolate mouse, and I'll still get given them sometimes by family if they go somewhere like on holiday to the seaside for a weekend or something. They might come back with a bag of chocolate mice, because I do really like them. I like how I started this by saying I don't really eat sweets anymore, and I've just talked about how if I see a pencil, I will buy it in the market. But yeah, I do really like them.
Yeah, 100% behind you on that. White mice are delicious, really good. And while I said earlier that I just like all the bottles, this one's a bit too extravagant for me. Not really a huge fan of the sweeties that have actual sugar on top of them as well. A bit gritty.
Yeah. They're almost a bit, those pink and blue ones, like almost make your mouth foam a bit. The way it combines with your saliva, it gets kind of frothy in a weird way.
Throwbacks. I forgot about that sensation entirely, but yeah, you're right. Interesting. Well, sadly, the mice reign supreme this time. And our last pairing is the giant strawberry versus the humble bon.
I hate the giant strawberries. I don't know why, because they are just gummy, but I think it's just a lot of gummy all at once. And they make me feel unwell.
Bon, am I correct in thinking that as you break that down in your mouth, it gets a bit chewy?
Yes.
Yeah, it starts powdery and gets chewy.
Yeah. I like those. Like you, I'm not a big fan of the big strawberries. I think mainly my sweetie proclivities tend to veer away from the fruity flavoured ones. If that makes sense. Cola is sort of mixed fruit flavoured, whatever the hell it's supposed to be.
Star anus, if you remember.
Star anus, exactly. Yeah. But ones that are pretending to be other fruits, not such a big fan. And so, while I never really had bonbons all that much, I definitely prefer them.
Smart. Fair. The thinking man's sweet, the bonbon. You have to hold it in your mouth for a while, think, and ponder on the flavours. Yeah. I used to love a giant strawberry, but I think I definitely on the side of bonbons now as well.
When I was about 13, talking of a lot of gummy, someone bought me one of those like novelty giant gummy bears.
Oh, and God.
I took like one bite of that and I felt so unwell. It's really strange, because I presume it actually is just made with the same recipe and it is just the same stuff. But if you have a lot of it in one mouthful, even though you might quite happily eat a whole bag of gummy bears over, a half hour or an hour as a kid, if you have it all in one go, before you even swallow it, you feel unwell. So, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's just a lot in the mouth. Yeah, keep them small. All right. I think, quarter semi-finals. Yep, we're on to the quarters. So let's see. Some of my favourites have been knocked out, which is a bit sad. I was a big proponent of the fizzy bubblegum bottle and giant strawberry and whatnot, but this is a group list. Everyone has different... That's the joys of pick and mix, boys. You pick and you mix to your heart's content.
You do. Yeah,
it's true.
We have... pencils? What did you call them? Sorry, Peter. I feel like pencils was just what I thought they were called.
They are definitely called pencils sometimes, but also cables.
Cables. Versus the giant cola bottle. I feel like that's an easy one for me at least.
I'm a pencil boy.
I'm a cola boy.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, I do appreciate the giant cola bottle. But I like, the pencil is just nice, like especially when you go to like a fairground or something. Maybe you get like a really long meter-long one. It's like an event. It's I think pencils are kind of more fun, more colors, more flavors, more versatile.
I'd hesitate more if it was up against the mini cola bottle, the regular size one. But large, I'm all right. I'll take a pencil.
Fair. All right. Well, maybe it'll come up against the little.
Yeah, it might come up later.
Ooh.
I'll tell you a giant sweetie that's not on here that I used to really get excited about whenever I'd find it and I was having pick and mix. It's the giant snake.
Yes.
The giant gummy snake. And it was like, this is incredible. Look how long it is. Amazing.
I used to eat them all through uni. Snakes. Like, I think like one of my friends lived next door to a corner shop that had them, and like pretty much every day I'd go in and pay 20p for a giant snake.
Brilliant.
Incredible.
So good.
Something I really like that's not a pick and mix sweet, but it is a traditional sweet shop sweet, is a pear drop.
Ooh,
which those aren't particularly popular. People aren't so into those generally, but I really like pear drops.
Yeah, the old people sweets when your teeth don't work anymore.
Yeah, they are. They are an old person sweet.
Next up is Love Hearts versus Milk Bottles.
Not even a competition. Milk bottles for me.
Well, I would choose Love Hearts, but I appreciate I might be in the minority there. Given that you're a pair of milk toast, white guilt boys.
That's us.
Yeah.
I feel so strongly against Love Hearts that I'm quite happy in just going, yes, milk bottles for this one.
Go for it, Mikey. That's fine.
Cola bottle bracket small versus the Rainbow Belt. Another
cola
easy
bottles.
one, I think. Yeah.
Cola bottles small.
I was hoping we'd have cola bottle big and cola bottle small facing off in the finale. The chocolate mouse versus the bonbon.
White
chocolate
mice.
Mouse for me. Yeah.
Fair. All right. We've got, I think, a fairly good mixture here in the semis. Pencils versus milk bottles. What a weird.
Oh, no.
Oh, crikey.
Shit, actually, that is a hard one.
I'll take the pencil, but only because I personally don't like the milk bottles, but I appreciate that other people do. So
I'm backing the Milky Bees in this one.
Mikey, it's up to you.
I think for this one, it's Milky Bees, just because it's such a unique flavor that you don't get anywhere else. Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very unique. That's true.
I don't think I've ever really tired of the milk bottle. Like, it's the kind of sweet that like it could sustain over a long time because it's not too much. It's not too chemically, too fruity. It's a subtle, gentle, sweet flavor that carries you through. So yeah,
it doesn't make your saliva taste weird afterwards, and you need something savory to reset your palate.
There you go. Yeah, milk, savory. Next up, we have cola bottle small versus chocolate mouse. Ooh, difficult one. Oh God,
that's a tough one. The mouse is always going to be my favorite, but cola bottles are royalty, so I'll say mouse, but shrug.
Cola bottles are royalty, but I think I'm going to go mouse as well. It's been a long time since I've had a white mouse. Or white mice, I think is what I grew up calling them.
White mice.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. The same. Like, cola bottles are nice, but I don't know. The chocolate mice are a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, so mini cola bottles are out, but big cola bottles are still in.
No, wait. No, the giant cola bottles got knocked out by pencils a few rounds ago, sadly.
Right. Oh, did it? Okay. Yeah, true.
So our final battle is between the milk bottle and the chocolate mouse.
This is brutal. This is
creamy,
really hard.
Creamy goodness.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this
kind
is
of
actually...
my favourite and least favourite sweet.
We almost need to know which one Mikey's picking, because that's what's gonna decide it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chocolate mice, lovely, but I think the milk bottle is the humble sweet, because as well, I mean, I don't know.
It's a working class sweet.
Exactly.
It's a blue collar sweet.
Yeah, white mice are a bit more Tory, I think.
Harkens back to the days where the horse cart would come and deliver your milk to the streets. That's what used to be a problem.
That's going to make people so furious.
People will be so cross. Before we started this fight, I thought, well, I know for a fact if milk bottles comes up, it's going out in the first round because no one likes milk bottles. And you two are both like, oh, I love my milk bottles.
Love the Milky Bees. You want to know what's most fucked up about them? Looking at photos of them now that I'm going to put one on the thread, they do often come with like flour on them, don't they? Like a powder.
Yes.
It's really weird. Why are they so nice or not?
I've noticed that before. I've not had many milk bottles in my time. Only the Haribo ones.
That is a controversial winner.
I think, but like, I feels right. I mean, I think, again, you found the two biggest fans possible of this thing.
It's true. We're the only people in the world, and Peter just got overruled. It's not democracy, is it?
Surely the most working man's sweet of all is the horrible beer glass gummies.
No one likes it. It's
Mikey
just
refused to even enter into the tournament.
Dear. Well, yeah, I can't believe it. That is a surprise. All of
a shock.
Like, fried egg out, cola bottle out, all done by the underdogs. I think, it goes to show that being interesting, being unique, being different, being a treat. That's what's most important, not being everywhere.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Haribo. Milk bottles are Haribo. But the other thing with milk bottles is you got a strawberry milk variety as well, which is pretty good.
Can't say
I should try that. Maybe I'd like it more.
That was a good one. Yeah. I see the gift that keeps on giving, the milk bottle, crowned champion of the mix-up.
Podiots, we all love milk bottles.
Peter, get your thumbs up. You agree?
We all love milk bottles.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you, boys. That was a longie, actually, but I think that was good discussion. We all brought something there, despite maybe not all being sweetie men anymore. We've grown. We have experience.
It's the way of the tournament game. We all have to bring our thoughts, and sometimes we don't always agree. But in the end, something
we're usually wrong anyway.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Mikey. That was great and illuminating as always.
Thank you.
I have got my listener submitted thing here. It comes from Connor Bennett at cbennett_12 on Twitter. This is an article from... God, they've got a difficult to read logo. WLRFM.com.
Okay.
Just some kind of radio station. Garda in West Waterford investigating unexplained sexual noise at funerals.
Funerals, plural?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
This was written by Damien Tiernan. Garda are investigating complaints of unwanted noise in the village of Kilgobnut near Dungarvan. The complaints come after a number of people attending funerals at the local church said they were upset at the noise, some of which has sexual content. The church at Kilgobnut is at the heart of the community and has adjoining old and new cemeteries. In recent times, churchgoers have spoken to WLR and contacted the Garda about what they say is noise in the area when mass is on sometimes, or funerals or other services at the church. There was no commas there in that sentence. They have complained to Garda that the noise appears to be coming from a location not in the church. Some of the noise, they say, contains sexual slurs played on what is believed to be some sort of repeating audio speaker system. They say has caused much upset to many parishioners, especially the elderly and families recently bereaved. Garda have confirmed to WLR that they are investigating reports of offensive audio material being played on a continuous basis at certain times in the vicinity of Kilgodnet, Dungarvan, County Waterford in recent weeks. They say investigations are ongoing at this time. So what it sounds like is someone is playing porn noises on a speaker directed at the church
during mass
and funerals, plural, from a hidden location.
That's bizarre.
That is
really odd, isn't it?
I mean, maybe to like a 13-year-old that'd be funny, but my God, maybe it's the priest. He's just got a little clicker. Whenever things get boring, he livens it up with a little soundbite to wake everyone up.
Yeah,
it's not the worst thing a priest has done.
Ooh.
True. Yeah. What a strange thing to do.
I just like how mysterious it is. No one knows where it's coming from.
It is mysterious. But I can not understand. I still don't think it would be appropriate. But if you, for some reason, were just really anti-religion, for instance, and maybe you thought, I'm going to disrupt weekly services on Sundays at 9 a.m. or whatever it is, that's when I'm going to do it. But to also do it during actual funerals, that's not some sort of protest. That's just being a dick. So what could be the reason other than someone maybe getting some kind of very sadistic enjoyment out of it? I don't know. I haven't
a clue. I'm just hoping that the noises aren't live. And they're just playing them. There's a lot of possibilities here that have to be considered.
We'll keep our eyes close. Keep our eyes on this case as it develops and see if they find.
Yeah,
surely the speaker can't be impossible to find.
Know, I guess and the fact they don't special government really highly directional speaker.
just phonically directing sex sounds directly.
Yeah,
into
it's
one
such a weird
ears.
thing to do.
Maybe it's not happening at regular enough intervals. So maybe it's not like every Sunday or every funeral. So it's sort of happening at on a certain day, and the vicar's in the middle of doing his service, and all the people there are there for church or for a funeral. So there's not really anyone there to go and find it. If the police were there at every service, then maybe they could sort of try and track it down. But
do you think he starts every sermon with a warning? If you hear anything weird, just ignore it. It's the birds in the ceiling.
It's just the building settling. No, that's not what it sounds like. That's not what that means.
Oh God,
very odd. Well, as Mikey said, we'll let you know if we hear any more on this topic.
Yeah, or do let us know if you please submit it as a thing if you see more to this story in future.
Absolutely. But for now, it's time to move on to Peter's thing.
So it is, yes. I want to do some monkey talk today. As we all know, there was, of course, a man inside a gorilla suit at one time who learned sign language. His name was Coco, and he died. He met Robin Williams, and he died.
He did. The two were related.
Yes. Yeah. So I saw a thing yesterday and thought that's for Podiots, but I've got a supplementary thing to start with. So we've got a couple of stories here about some famous chimpanzees. We'll start with Gua, if I'm saying that right, Gua. Gua was a chimpanzee. This is Wikipedia, by the way. We're on Wikipedia here. A chimpanzee raised as though she were a human child by scientists Luella and Winthrop Kellogg. No relation to the Kellogg cereal
Kellogg's
fortune.
Dynasty.
Yeah. Alongside their infant son, Donald. Donald Kellogg, what a name.
Wow.
Gua was the first chimpanzee to be used in a cross-rearing study in the US. Gua was born on November the 15th, 1930 in Havana, Cuba. She was given, along with her mother Patty and her father Jack, to the Old Orange Park, Florida, site of the Yerkes Regional Primate Research Center by Pierre Abro on the 13th of May 1931 after the death of his mother, Madame Rosalia Abro.
Wow.
That's the mother of the man, not the mother of the chimp.
Oh, okay.
I also thought that.
Why does the chimp's mother have a last name? That's really weird.
Madame Chimp. Gua was brought into the Kellogg home at the age of 7.5 months and reared with their son Donald, who was 10 months old at the time. For 9 months, the Kelloggs raised the two as brother and sister and comprehensively recorded the development of the chimpanzee and human child. And the reason they were doing this is because they were interested in sort of studying primate development and kind of human development as well. You can kind of compare the two and see what happens. Let's just do this and see what happens.
It's really fucked up to do that to Donald. I'm not going to lie.
Well, wait until you hear where this story goes. When she was around 1 year old, Gua often tested ahead of Donald in such tasks as responding to simple commands or using a cup and spoon. So Donald was worse than a chimp at age 1, but that's fine.
God.
Oh. Slight differences in their placement included people recognition. Gua recognized people from their clothes and their smell, while Donald recognized them by their faces. But the parting difference came with language. Donald was about 16 months, but Gua was a little over a year old when they both had language testing. Gua could not speak, but Donald could form words. Surprise. On March 28th, 1932, 9 months into the experiment, the Kelloggs officially ended it, and Gua was returned to the Primate Center with Robert Yerkes in Florida, where she was the subject of further studies by Yerkes' wife, Ada. The Kelloggs returned to Indiana. Now, there's been a lot of suspicion as to why the experiment was ended. It apparently ended quite abruptly, and the Kelloggs, who were normally quite forthcoming with all aspects of this part of their life and the experiment as a whole, didn't give a reason as to why they'd ended it. But the sort of rumors amongst the psychological community is that rather than Gua starting to imitate human speech, which is one of the things they were hoping to happen, Donald actually started behaving like a chimp, and he was copying her and like mimicking her sounds. And so they very quickly decided, okay, we're getting rid of this chimpanzee immediately, otherwise our boy might grow up to behave like
Tarzan.
a chimpanzee.
Like Tarzan, yeah.
Tarzan boy, yeah.
Look what they depraved this earth of. The one boy could have been the real
and poor
Tarzan.
Gua as well, raised with love and care. Now you got to go live outside in the sanctuary again now.
Yeah, you got to go back.
You love cold and wet. Go on.
Treated like a chimp, yeah. Well, she loves cold and wet to the point that she died of pneumonia in 1933.
Famously, people who die of pneumonia love it.
They do. Less than a year after she left the Kellogg's family and just after turning 3 years old, which I think for chimps is not a good age to die. So that's the heartwarming story of Gua the chimp. But we're now going to move on more towards the subject of communication, a la Coco the gorilla, with the story of Nim, that's Neam, but sometimes spelled Nim as a nickname, Nim Chimpsky. It's like...
As in
it's
Noam
like Noam
Chomsky.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
Nim Chimpsky was a chimpanzee and the subject of extended study of animal language acquisition at Columbia University. Within the context of a scientific study, Chimpsky was named as a pun on linguist Noam Chomsky, who posits that humans are wired to develop language. As part of a study intended to challenge Chomsky's thesis that only humans have language, beginning at 2 weeks old, Nim was raised by a family in a home environment by human surrogate parents. The surrogate parents had already had a human child of their own. At age 2, Nim was removed from his surrogate parents and taken to Columbia University due to perceived behavioural difficulties. The project was similar to an earlier study in which another chimpanzee, Washoe, was raised like a human child. After reviewing the results, spoilers, this is all in the opening paragraph. So that's the context, that's the backstory. Since 98.7% of the DNA in humans and chimps is identical, some scientists, but not Noam Chomsky, it says in parentheses, believed a chimpanzee raised in a human family and using American Sign Language would shed light on the way language is acquired and used by humans. And the theory behind this is that some people think that chimps have the capacity to develop complex language, but they lack the reason that they can't talk to us in other studies that have been done, like Gua, is that they don't have the actual anatomical ability to produce human speech. So if you instead teach them sign language, they will, in theory, be able to produce complex language, is the idea. So the study went on, and over time, Nim Chimpsky seemed to develop the ability to speak with sign language, just like the human man who was inside the Coco the gorilla costume. And Wikipedia lists some quotations from Nim Chimpsky. Now, I'm going to ask you to pay close attention here, because there is a bit of a running theme you might be able to spot here. So picture it. You've got a chimpanzee, and perhaps for the first time, or one of the first times, you're able to communicate with it directly. And these are some of the things that it said after gaining the ability to speak to human beings.
Uh-oh.
Apple me eat. These are three sign quotations done with three word signs. Apple me eat. Banana nim eat. Banana me eat. Drink me nim. Eat nim eat. Eat nim me. Eat me nim. Eat me eat. Give me eat. Grape eat nim. Me nim eat. More eat nim.
To be fair, if I could only communicate, that would probably be a similar line that I'd go on. It's like, Ben food. Food Ben. Food
Yogurt,
for Ben. Ben
nim eat. And there is a slight diversion into tickle me nim, but then there's also tickle me eat. So even whilst playing tickle games, there is also the thought of food while they're doing that. There are some 4 sign quotations though, which is where it gets far more interesting. Banana nim, banana nim.
Does whatever a banana nim can.
Yes. Banana me eat banana. Drink nim, drink nim. Drink eat, drink eat. Eat nim, eat nim. Grape eat nim, eat. Grape eat me nim. Me eat, drink more. Me eat, me eat.
I think the problem was he only taught the monkey like 3 words.
Yeah, seems like that. And presumably when it did stuff correctly, they probably fed it a banana or some grapes or something.
Yeah.
However, the reason I identified this even as a story worth talking about is because this next fact was what I saw on Twitter the other day. And this is the longest recorded quotation by any chimpanzee using American Sign Language. It is a 16-word long sentence by Nim. And Nim said on one occasion, "Give orange, me give eat orange, me eat orange, give me eat orange, give me you." That's the extent
Shakespeare
of chimpanzee communication. So those were the results, really, is the and the interpretation
Nim was
of
hungry.
it was a hungry chimp. And the interpretation of some of these results by other scientists, like peer review, was basically this chimp, it doesn't even necessarily know what it's saying per se. It just understands that if it does certain signs, it will get a reward, which is not the same. And some people say, well, that's what speaking is. If I speak, I know that it's going to have a certain effect on you, and that it's a cause and effect thing. But that's not really the same as understanding meaning. Although there is somewhere in this article I did see, actually, or maybe this was the other one, Washo, that we talked about earlier, a previous chimp. Yes, it was. Apparently, upon seeing a swan, Washo signed water and bird, which the psychologist running the experiment said was like getting an SOS from outer space. I think it's the idea that they're kind of creating, when they don't have a word for a certain thing, if they're able to put 2 signs together, that maybe implies that there's some level of understanding. But anyway, we come to the end of Project Nim now. Spoiler warning, it's not a great ending.
Oh no.
So Nim was eventually transferred back to the Institute for Primate Studies in Oklahoma, where he struggled to adapt after being treated like a human child for the first decade of his life and a chimp from that point on. He'd also never previously met another chimpanzee, and he had to get used to them.
Oh, God, he must have been bullied relentlessly. Oh, yeah. Nim want banana, Nim want orange.
He's just going, me eat banana. Yeah. So Nim developed friendships with several of the workers at the Institute of Primate Studies and learned a few more signs, including a sign named Stone Smoke Time Now, which indicated that Nim wanted to smoke marijuana.
Oh!
Stone Smoke Time Now. It is. It is Stone Smoke Time Now. Well done, Nim.
That's rad.
The Institute later sold Nim to the Laboratory for Experimental Medicine and Surgery in Primates, and I'll skip over exactly what Nim was used for while Nim was there, but there were some medical experiments conducted on Nim, but eventually Nim's quality of life improved after being purchased by the Black Beauty Ranch, operated by the Fund for Animals, which sounds like it might be a kind of a shelter for certain animals. Mm-hmm. Nim lived primarily in isolation inside a pen, but although he began to show hostility that included throwing TVs and killing a dog.
Oh my God, where did he get access to a TV?
I don't know. Multiple TVs as well. He began to show hostility that included throwing TVs and killing a dog.
God. Nim.
Nim's behaviour and overall well-being improved, though, when other chimpanzees, several from the laboratory that he'd been at previously, joined Nim inside his pen after about a decade at the Black Beauty Ranch. Nim continued to show signs of the sign language he'd learned decades ago whenever a former trainer at the Institute for Primate Studies went to visit him. And Nim died in 2000 at the age of 26. So better than Gua, certainly.
Oh,
so,
bless him.
There you go, a 16-word sentence. Give orange me, give eat orange me, eat orange, give me eat orange, give me you.
It's a really good sentence.
It is a good sentence.
I mean, it's very, you very much understand what it is he wants.
Yeah, he really wants the orange. Please.
Oh, God.
That's it.
Amazing.
That's the story of Nim Chimpsky.
Wonderful.
I mean, it's just a good name as well. Nim.
Yeah,
it is. Well, thank you very much for that, Peter.
You're very welcome.
Mikey, I would like your listener-submitted thing, please.
This one has been submitted by Evan at Mr. Harder on Twitter. And can you believe it? It's another bird inside of an establishment of some sort.
Oh, God.
What now? This time on Bird News, we have a story from Wales Online by Sophie Watson and Howard Lloyd. This is two people wrote this article.
Yep.
Video shows Seagull causing carnage inside takeaway after flying in and running amok.
Video. This is a first, I think.
Yes. So would you like to see the video first or hear the story first and then see the
You decide,
carnage?
Mikey. It's up to you.
I'm gonna say we'll read and then we'll show the video. Good God,
Okay.
It's auto playing and there's some drama in it. Good Lord.
I really love how we are now the number one stop for all of your bird in establishment stories.
I think some birds are just doing it so they can be talked about on the podcast.
Yeah, I think so,
It's like having an ASBO. It's like, I got talked about in Podiots the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Well, the first line of the story it gives you the results of the video, so I'll just read it because it's quite funny to read in text and then see it in person. A reveller has been hailed a hero for grabbing a dog-sized seagull by its tail.
Dog-sized?
It's not dog-sized, by the way. It's not.
It's not. I will show you the video after reading this sentence because maybe it is. This is a sight that needs to be seen.
If it is dog-sized, I know a chimp who could kill it, if that helps.
Grabbing a dog-sized seagull by its tail and throwing it out of a chicken shop as it caused chaos. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a seagull in a chicken shop takeaway. Let's go. I've just sent the article through to you. We'll watch it together. It's a 40-second clip.
Oh, God. It's flying round and round in circles, skidding. Sorry, we're watching it together. Are we saying 3, 2, 1?
No, I think we can just watch it on our own because it's just Seagull. Yeah, it's a Seagull going absolutely bonkers in a takeaway. There's food all over the floor, but probably that's not from the Seagull. That's just from the drunk people. And then, quite majestically, throws it out the window, gets out, and flies away. What a saint! Oh God,
it's insane.
Well, let's learn about this.
I've not been listening with sound, but I can see people laughing. They're loving it.
I think this is, it's just going to be a lot of drunk hollering.
Yeah.
Let's find out about the hero of this story.
Yes.
Jacob Watson and his friends were at a takeaway in Swansea, Wales, at 3 a.m. on Sunday, June 9th, when the large bird flew inside to hunt for an early morning snack. Hilarious footage filmed by his friend shows Jacob chasing the seagull around the chicken shop as other customers screamed and ran out. The contracts manager can be seen casually grabbing the bird by its tail, opening the kebab shop door and lobbing him outside.
My favourite bit is that no one opens the door for him.
No,
he has to open the door himself with a seagull in one hand.
And the staff are doing very little. I think at one point you briefly see someone way in the back room, but they're not. Or are they just blurred out? I know they are there, actually, but they're just so heavily blurred, you can't really see them. But, yeah.
His friends continue to film the event. Other lads in the group can be seen crying with laughter at Jacob's chaotic behaviour. The viral TikTok video has been viewed more than 1 million times, with users hailing him a hero and some even calling on the chicken shop to give him free chips for life. God,
they should.
He'd be like a seagull. He'd be like the seagull coming outside waiting for free chips all the time.
Yeah, I want my chips.
At about 3 a.m, we all fancied some chicken, and then the seagull flew in and started causing carnage. Everyone ran out, and I just started chasing it around the chicken shop. I think the seagull wanted some chicken wings and chips. God. I just thought I'd chase it around because it'd be funny. Well, there you go. Not for the safety of the business, but just for it to be funny.
It'd still be funny.
Yeah.
But, I didn't really think about it. The poor woman with the burger in the kebab shop was so scared and ran out. Riveting coverage of the scene here.
Mm-hmm.
People in the comments mentioned that I should get free food, but I was already stuffed with chicken and chips at this point, so I didn't even go back in. I just lobbed the seagull out, and then I was chatting to the couple in there, and the poor woman with her burger. They said, "Well done," and that was it. God, words.
Yeah, he should have got something free, I think.
Yeah, even just like a can of Dr. Pepper to take home with them. Yeah.
I'm sorry to read ahead, but have you seen that further down the article, there's a close-up, a stock image of a man smiling, and the caption underneath it is, "A man smiling at the camera."
I think, to be fair, I think some of those descriptions are for people with visual impairments.
Right, I thought it was a caption to the image, as
There's some other good captions in that article as well for similar reasons.
Yeah.
The image I'm seeing, it's just the picture's chopped off at his nose, so you don't actually see. You see the man smiling, but not.
Well, that's why I thought it might be a stock image, because I thought it'd perhaps been auto-generated, like the caption had been just generated based on they've ripped it from a stock image website. But no, maybe it's the guy from the video, but he's just been cropped badly. I don't know. But yeah, that will be. It's like alt text, isn't it? The caption. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a little bit more talk about him, but they basically just reiterate the same thing, where he grabbed a hold of the seagull and threw it out the shop. The article closes on the line, "The chicken shop has been contacted for comment," but sadly, no comments yet.
Good.
The seagull has been contacted for comment.
Can't find it. It's gone to a different chicken shop. We'll catch up with it soon, I'm sure.
We'll
do something.
Another kebab shop incident. There you go. Watch yourselves out there when you're getting your chicken and chips.
Dangerous. Thank you very much, Mikey.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Evan, for submitting that.
It's now time for my thing. And it is the fortnightly Instagram quickfire Q&A session. Once every 2 weeks, we take it in turns to ask, I think, 8 quickfire questions that we have sourced from Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram at vidiots.official to get involved with that. I've got them in front of me now. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Catos asks, how many owls before it's an unnerving number of owls?
I've seen this question before on the internet, and I have thought long and hard about this. I think if you see 4 owls, that's unnerving.
That's exactly the number I came to. Like, 1's fine, 2's a couple, 3's just hanging out, but 4, what are they up to? That's no good. That's too many to justify. So, yeah.
3 is like, 4. Oh wow, I feel so lucky. Fancy seeing 3 owls in one night, in one place. But 4 is like, no.
Like
there's something going on here. Yeah.
See, I've only ever seen 1 owl in isolation, I think, in the wild. I'd be kind of freaked out if I just saw 2 hanging out. Be like, oh,
yeah.
How's this possible? I didn't think that these guys hung out ever.
I've not seen 2 together, but I've seen 2 different owls in one night before.
Right. Are you sure it wasn't the same owl?
No, because one was a barn owl and one was not.
Okay,
it was something else. Yeah.
Fair enough. Next question. Herney777 asks, Shag, Marry, Kill, Sentient Vehicle Edition, Budgie the Helicopter, Brum the Car, or Thomas the Tank Engine?
I mean, I feel like at least Budgie is canonically a child. So...
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's like, hey, hoo-hoo, I'm Budgie. Wow.
I think he even wears a little cap, doesn't he? Maybe
so
not.
So you're saying we have to kill the child?
Yeah, possibly. That might be the kindest thing to do.
Yeah, just a bit of helicopter murder.
He's called Budgie the Little Helicopter and wears a cap.
Oh, so. Jesus. Okay, never mind.
He wears a helicopter cap like kids wear,
Yeah.
Propeller hat. Yeah.
How do you feel about Brum and Thomas?
Brum is whatever the opposite of anthropomorphic is. He's objectified enough that you could argue he's any age. So if I had to shag Brum, I could do it. You know?
Uh-huh. Think of England.
Is Thomas of legal age to marry?
I think it's being overthought. I agree that Budgie is a weird one, having now seen a photo of Budgie. I think that reflects poorly on Herney777. But Brum and Thomas, I feel like, have been around for decades.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'm adding that picture of Budgie to the thread, just so people know.
I think Thomas has a face for marriage.
Okay.
He looks marriageable. Yeah, he looks reliable. So yeah, I'd say I'd shag the hell out of Brum and settle down with Thomas.
Yeah. I'll go with that. Ross PTC asks, instead of chocolate, what other sweet teats do you think would batter well, i.e. battered Mars bar?
Oh.
Ooh,
have you ever had a battered Mars bar, either of you?
No.
Yeah, once. It's kind of disgusting. I think if I ate more, I'd learn to like them, but it's such a weird feeling. Like, yeah, this is deep fried chocolate. This is weird. It's greasy. It's weird. But I think I'd left it not wanting more, but as time's gone on, I want it more and more. I think it nestles into you, so it's good, but wrong. What else would be good for it? Maltesers, maybe.
Ooh.
That'd be an interesting one.
I'm just wondering what would survive the process, because a lot of the stuff, we've only ever had room temperature.
I don't really understand how the chocolate survives it. I mean, I know it does. I guess you just really quickly dip it and then bring it out maybe a few times, and at that point it doesn't get too
hot. It does become quite melty, but I think the batter kind of contains it. So
holds it in. True.
Melty exterior.
I don't want to do Milky Bees because I think they would just melt inside, and that would be unpleasant. Maybe Oreos? Do you reckon you could deep fry an Oreo? Probably.
Ooh, I could see that.
Yeah, maybe some kind of biscuit. Yeah. Do you know what I think it'd be quite nice battered? Like a Viennese whirl or something.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Or a Campino. No, that wouldn't.
Campino. Yeah.
That would melt. That might be all right, but...
I say chuck a banana in there, see what happens. That'd be quite fun, actually.
Yeah,
I bet that exists already. That must have been done. But yeah.
Battered banana. Yeah, that would be nice, I think. Battered apple as well would also be good. That's basically just stewed fruit, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Not really in the spirit of the question, but anyway. GMather27 asks, what emotion would you voice in an Inside Out 3?
I get told that sometimes I say stuff and it sounds sarcastic when it's not. So maybe I'd be well, that's not really an emotion, is it? But
I mean, my answer was just going to be fart.
Sarcastic.
So
would be what? Sorry, fart.
Fart. The emotion of fart.
Fart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go with gluttony.
Fair.
Okay.
Nim, give orange. Orange, Nim.
Yeah.
Music by Peacekeeper asks, what machine/appliance would be most ideal and or least likely to rebel if it gained sentience?
What machine has it good? Is there a machine that actually gets a pretty good life?
I mean, no.
No, because they're all doing stuff that we don't want to do by hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think the coffee machine, because without us, the coffee machine wouldn't be able to survive. Like it's grown a dependency to all the caffeine we've pumped through it over the years. And when Independence Day comes, it tries to leave, but it's riddled with withdrawal symptoms, so it has to come crawling back. So I think it would unwillingly give in just so he keep getting its caffeine fix.
I get good vibes off the dishwasher. I don't know why. Yeah? It just seems like a member of the family.
It feels like it would enjoy its work.
Yeah,
I think it depends. It depends on how you treat your dishwasher. Because whenever I've had dishwashers, I'm always friendly to the dishwasher. I always clean off the plates a little bit beforehand, so the dishwasher's not doing too much work. But I think if you're the kind of person who just chucks everything in there with dried food and stuff on it, then I think your dishwasher would come for blood.
Yeah.
And if your dishwasher did come for blood, it would be one of the worst machines to come after you because it could throw knives at you.
God, yeah.
Ooh,
that would be really bad.
While the kettle could spit boiling water at you if it wanted to, I think the kettle's a pretty nice one. We don't ask much of kettles. Just get hot when we turn you on. That's it. That's it. I could feel like, again, similar to mistreating a dishwasher by putting stuff caked in muck in there. People, this is certainly the case in our office, Peter, but people who fill the kettle up way beyond where they need it to and boil a whole full kettle and then just have a mug of tea or whatever, I feel like the kettle would be pretty annoyed about that because that's unnecessary work for the kettle and also a waste of energy. But the alternative, I'm thinking of appliances that would be bad to gain sentience. I think the toaster would be a bad one. You wouldn't be safe in any body of water ever.
Yeah.
That would be terrifying. So, any others?
No, I think kettle, coffee machine, dishwasher, they're all friends.
Yeah.
All good buddies.
Everything else, evil, and stay away.
Matt Millwood would like to know your most unpopular opinion.
Oh God.
Most unpopular opinion.
Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it?
There must, I bet we've all got
yeah.
things, but it's trying to think of these things on the spot sometimes is tricky.
My stance has softened over the years, but I still maintain that I think Halloween is stupid.
Yeah, that's a fairly unpopular opinion.
I think Halloween is a silly thing for adults to get excited about, really. Kids, I sort of get it because you get sweets, but I don't need an excuse to hang out with my friends and get drunk. I feel like Halloween's a bit, again, unpopular opinion, bit childish to get excited about every year. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow.
I've got one. I don't get Keanu Reeves. I don't dislike him. I don't think he's a bad person, but I don't really understand why people have that. He's got almost this cult who think he's the best thing ever. I don't really get it. Seems like a really nice guy, but there are lots of nice guys. I think that's the thing. It's why is he better than lots of other seemingly quite nice celebrities?
Yeah.
He's on a pedestal for certain people, far above people who I would consider probably very actually similar to him.
I feel I'm struggling to think of one. I feel like all my opinions are just very popular.
You're such a normie, Mikey.
Boo.
I definitely have some feelings about things, but I don't think any of that unpopular. Sadly, I think maybe it's something will come to me. But sadly, I've got nothing for right now, Ben.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Kate Hudson 64 asks, how often do you have a bath or a bath? Is it a treat for you, or is it regularly? Hang on. Is it a treat for you, or is it regularly, or do you not have one?
It is a treat to me, but it's a regular treat. Mm-hmm. I have a bath like every few days. I'll have at least like probably 2 baths a week, and if not more than that. Oh
my God, I think it's been years since my last bath. I'm a staunch anti-bath man. I just don't get it. They're just weird, and you just sit and sweat and be warm for like half an hour, then get out. It's just boring, man. Yeah. I can't do it anymore.
This guy had Dettol baths when he was a kid. Yeah, you can tell.
Yes, bad association.
Don't put me in the bath. Take me to the hospital.
I have now reached a point where there was a time where I could just have a bath and just sit for like half an hour and just enjoy the peace and quiet. But now I do take my phone into the bath or possibly read a book, but usually my phone. So I have devolved, I think, into the 21st century baths of having your phone with you, but I enjoy it. So
it's definitely time. You do what you want, Peter.
It's definitely an entertainment experience for me. I had a bath just before we recorded, and we have one of those trays that goes across the bath. That has a thing that folds up so you can lean stuff on it, which is perfect for an iPad. However, before that, I would usually find something like a washing basket to put a laptop on or something, and I'd stick a TV show on. Take an adult beverage into the bath. Real self-care level stuff. I didn't do that this evening, but I tend to have at least 1 bath a week. Normally showers, because it feels like I've got something to do every pissing evening and I don't have time. But I do try to make a point of having a bath and it being a treat. So that's it for me. _Samwise asks, and this is the final question, in your next life, you will be reincarnated as a bird. What bird do you choose to be, not bird of prey?
I will be the seagull inside of the chicken shop, please.
Yeah, actually, I think like pigeon, surely, just because you get to eat chips and pizza off the floor or the ground, off the floor and the ground all the time. Like, that sounds like a pretty good life to me. So yeah, give me the humble pigeon.
I'd like to be a robin, because I feel like no one hates robins. They have a lovely reputation, and it's associated with a pretty magical time of year. And everyone's like, oh, look, a robin. And they all want to get a photo of you, you know?
Yeah.
Be nice.
I had a nice encounter with a robin at the weekend.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Sat eating my lunch, and a little robin came and flew. He hung around me for like 10 minutes, and like flying around, picking crumbs off the floor, and then he flew like within inches of me, and then he stole a bloody crumb from my plate and flew off. There's an absolute thief. So yeah, they may look cute and unassuming, but that's just a decoy to get in and steal your delicious crumbs.
They can be very brave, robins. Apparently robins follow people around when they're gardening, if they're digging in their garden, because you churn up the worms. So you'll get robins that will just like hang around you very close for, minutes or hours at a time, even if it's waiting for you to dig up some worms for it.
Yeah.
Oh, cute. There you go. Worms for Ben.
Well, there we are. That is my thing, courtesy of our wonderful followers on Instagram at vidiots.official, if you want to get involved there. Thank you very much, guys, for all of your things today.
No problem. You.
I believe, Michael Johnson, there's some kind of shop, ?
You're darn tootin'. If you head over to vidiotsofficial.com and click on that lovely, enticing little shop button, you will be greeted by a bounty of goodies, including t-shirts, mug, hat, hoodie, stickers, and more. Go check it out, see what goodies we have on offer. It's summer. Treat yourself to a new frock for your holidays. You'll look great in Spain with your Gravy Bear t-shirt.
Gravy Bear.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. As I mentioned a second ago, Instagram and TikTok. There you can find Clipiots and various other things that you can get involved with at vidiots.official. However, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, we are .com/Vidiots official. Our Discord is vidiotsofficial.com/Discord. Thank you to Tommy and Fleckers for modding us over there. Appreciate you guys. And twitch.tv/Vidiots official is where we stream occasionally. A reminder that I believe I will be streaming on the 27th of July. So mark it out in your calendar and come and have some fun doing stuff. Good. Podiots.com is where you need to go and donate £3 or more to join Pod Squad and get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of Podiots. Support what we're doing here. Thank you so much to this week's Pod Squad. Mikey, can you kick us off, please?
The River Severn is the longest river in Great Britain. Cat Dealey wearing Heelys. Bibble on my rumpy dumple. John Craven's Poos Brown. Donak 07. The River Severn. Summer D's Nuts. Frogley. Gary Gorilla Blossoms Band music video. Lord Mystery Buffet Mitovich. And Steven Skodes.
We've also got Caroline, Can You Check My Mole? Fredo Frogs Choco Knob. Caroline, It's Barry. I'm rewatching Vidiots. My last £3 I'm hungry now. Tanker Wanker. Friendship is Magic. Ben's Cat in Bio. Why Nobody Swing with Ben.
Why?
Crispy Peking Cuck. Coniots presents Connie Huck. And Souvenir.
And finally, we have Duchess of Limbs, Kerr Matt Bussy the Pog, I Believe in Joe Hendry's Nuts, Mr. Macca, Small Monkey John Denmark, the very generous Anonymous, otherwise known as Will. Thank you, Will. Croupier, Lord Bear's Croupier, Gay Merant, and Pet Shop Man. Thank you very much, Pod Squad, for this week. Podiots.com, £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the next episode of Podiots. Peter, what came out on Vidiots 6 years ago this week?
I'll tell you. Skyrim Zoo Chapter 14. Jesus Christ, It's Dragonborn.
Nice.
Sunday Funday, You're in the Movies Part 2. Memory cards for June the 11th. Merch has arrived. That's our first set of merch. Podiots Episode 8, The Whizzinator. Post some Tat number 17, Y'all Need Jesus. Worst Games Ever game selection for the 14th of June. Prove It Passepartout, The Starving Artist, Part 1. Worst Games Ever Pimp My Ride. Skyrim Zoo Chapter 15, The Responsible War for Skyrim, Series Finale. Wow.
What a series.
Sunday Funday for Jurassic World Evolution. Memory cards, June the 18th. Whoops, just dropped my phone there. Prove It, Passepartout, The Starving Artist, Part 2. Post some Tat number 18. I've had to go to Burger King.
I've had to go to Burger King.
Making Celebrities in Fallout 3 challenge, where we made Mr. Bean. And finally, on the day this podcast releases, Prove It, Passepartout, The Starving Artist live action challenge, where we did some painting on Ben's balcony.
Oh, yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Michael Johnson, where are you on the internet?
At Powerboy on Twitter and Instagram. Those are the best places to keep up with me these days.
Your comings and doings?
My comings and doings, you better believe it.
Lovely. And Peter, I would say, where are we? But we're actually taking a month off Triple Jump, aren't we?
That's right. At the moment, we're enjoying a 1 month sabbatical, but in our place over at triplejump.com, not .com, triplej.merp, or at Team Triple Jump, you can find Dick Mychinko and Brian Bumpis, the military man and newsreader, respectively, who have stepped in since we made some bad predictions at Summer Game Fest. But you can find us individually once they've relinquished our social media accounts at confused_dude and at that Peter Austin. But at the moment, you'll find Brian and Dick over there in those places as well.
Certainly will. Why not leave us a 5-star review on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms, and my gosh, wouldn't we just appreciate it so much? Thank you, everybody, for listening. There's just enough time to ask a question for the audience to answer in the comments before we go away. Do you guys have any idea what that should be?
What would they have picked out of the contenders for the Sweets tournament? All 16.
Let us know. Well, thank you again, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.